What is good, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's going on with Tesla, SPY, Nvidia, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'll break down what's happening with the news affecting the markets, what the economic calendar is saying about the markets, and what the news is once again saying about the Cybertruck as we have some new developments. And I'm going to break down how all of this could affect Tesla's share price going into today. But before I break anything down all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. Anyways, let's talk about Tesla. How on earth is Tesla looking? Looking at the share price, I just wanted to call out this support trend line that we have down here that is once again acting as our support. Tesla's continuing to hold up for now. Now, as the market's holding up during the pre-market session, I just want to note that there are going to be external factors which are outside of Tesla's control that could also affect the share price in addition to the Cybertruck event. We want to be paying attention to them going into today and also going into tomorrow. So what are these events and what's going on? First off, today at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the 3-month and the 6-month bill auctions coming out. We'll be watching to see if this causes any sort of move in the markets, and that could lead to some volatility. There were instances where this caused the market to move in a very, shocking way. So we'll just wait and see if this causes anything. Besides that, don't forget we have the FOMC minutes for tomorrow. And then another big factor affecting the market is going to be Nvidia. It has its earnings on Tuesday after the market closes. So we will have to wait and see if that causes anything. To add on to all of this, I just want to note that futures have been very unchanged this morning as we're approaching this very short week for the Thanksgiving weekend. So we will see if we get any big moves, and what could trigger them could be Nvidia's earnings, which could affect the whole market, including Tesla. As far as the news goes, we have another winning streak as we're seeing the market still holding up quite decently, and equities are continuing to get a boost after inflation came in cooler than expected. So the market's still holding up, but we'll be watching to see if anything changes. Sam Altman has gone to Microsoft. That's another big piece of news. This is 2 days after OpenAI stunned the tech world by firing him. Now he's basically leading another advanced AI team at Microsoft. Earnings are coming down very soon as well. We'll be watching them very carefully, especially Nvidia's. We have a couple of others, such as Best Buys and Lowe's for Tuesday. And then on top of that, Black Friday is coming up. A lot of deals will be out there, and we will see how companies do this time around. And then the Cruise CEO has resigned. Cruise is just another robo-taxi business owned by GM, and we will see what happens moving forward. They're going to have to try to get a new one, but once again, that's just another piece of news. That's it for the news affecting the overall market. For Tesla, Tesla's starting to bring the Cybertrucks to showrooms ahead of the big launch event, which is going to be happening in about 10 days from now. Now, that is great news for Tesla, but the thing you need to remember about this is that for the really short term, this is not going to be the biggest factor affecting Tesla, because we're going to be looking at Nvidia's earnings in the FOMC minutes, at least for the next 2 days. But then after that, the Cybertruck event could help Tesla see some upside, at least as we approach it. So we want to be very patient for now. Looking at Tesla, this thing is uptrending. So this thing is going to make an attempt to go higher likely, especially this morning. Make sure you watch this resistance right here at this 237 area. If it breaks, watch 238, and then this imbalance close to 240. We could see Tesla uptrend just for a bit, try to hold up and make its way slowly up to these higher levels, back up to 240 or so. But if we lose this trend line, if we kind of push towards 238 to 240 and reject, we start just trading sideways here, that could be a bearish signal, because we could be forming once again this inverse cup and handle structure that could lead to some downside in the future. If we lose this support, there could be a risk of us coming back down to 230 by Tuesday or Wednesday, and we'll be watching this all very carefully. Now, if Tesla holds up for today, do not become too bullish or too bearish. Just know that, once again, the FOMC minutes and Nvidia's earnings could affect it. So watch these levels very carefully. So watch it approach 237, 238, 240, and then 242 as resistance. And then know that we have support at those levels, not to mention 235, 232, and 230, and also this white trend line. In my opinion, we might see this attempts to uptrend as time goes on, but watch resistance very carefully because it could still stall and trade sideways, and wait for Nvidia's earnings to cause an even bigger move. Nvidia is going to be a big one, at least for the next couple of days. As far as Nvidia goes, it's also uptrending very nicely. Of the support trend line, very similar to Tesla's. In my opinion, if Nvidia gets one more push, you're going to be watching 498 and 500 is resistance. If it breaks 500, watch it push towards 508, even up to like 510. And then for support, you're going to be watching 495, not to mention 490. As of right now, it's uptrending. We're going to be watching to see if support holds, and there could be potential upside coming for it. We have this imbalance to fill towards 500, so I believe it's going to test this. I'm just not as sure if they're going to get a big break out of this or not, because resistance is very tight up there. We might see an attempt to go a little higher on Nvidia, and this could hold the market up temporarily. And then we will see what happens after its earnings. We will see if Nvidia tries to hold up or not. Make sure you watch the levels and make sure you're very careful. If we lose this white trend line, if we get break below it, then we could turn up a little bearish. But I think that if anything, we're just going to remain flat if that ends up being the case. Once again, there is still a possibility of another attempts to push. For SPY, we're at 451 right now, and there's going to be likely an attempt to try to hold up. We have this support right here at 448. If we lose it, this red trend line could play out if we turn bearish, right? If we lose this 448 support, we're going to start sinking. That's going to be like a bearish signal. If we manage to break 452, then we could start pushing. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck between 452 as resistance and 448 as support. uh, I think that the market's going to try to hold up for now. We might even try to push a little higher, maybe, but then Nvidia's earnings and the FOMC minutes could change all of that going into tomorrow. So you want to be very careful. We could push higher then come back down. You could even argue that we have like a head and shoulders like pattern. I'm not going to promise that. And we will see how it moves from here. We will see if we could get one more push up higher towards 455 to 456 over the next 2 days before we reject or not. But for now, we're just range bound. So just assume we're going to be range bound unless we break this resistance and this support. And for now, we're just kind of stuck. So we'll just have to wait and see. With the QQQ, it's the same thing all over again. I mean, we have resistance around 387 and support at 383. We've been stuck going back and forth and back and forth. If we break 387, we could look for a push for 388 to 390. And if we do push up higher, then we could reject. If we lose support at 382, I would turn more bearish and we could start sinking. For now, it's uptrending. We're making higher highs and higher lows slowly. We might attempt to hit this imbalance around 387, so it might push a little bit more, but don't turn overly bullish, overly bearish until after Nvidia's earnings come out. That's when we're going to find out which way we're going to go. Just be patient, and it might just remain in this range for some time. Hold up a little higher towards this like 387 to 386 area. Hold up for a bit, and then watch for a big move by Tuesday after close. If not going into like Wednesday, that's when we're going to see the real move. So this is like a phony move right now. We don't know what's going to happen yet. So just be patient, and we will wait and see. For Aapl, and this is going to be the last one I talk about for now. Apple's also kind of stuck, still trying to hold up. It might uptrend just a little bit thanks to Nvidia. We could see it retest like 190.5, 191, maybe a little higher. And it might just be range bound between 191 to 189, just going back and forth and back and forth. If it breaks 188, you turn bearish. And I think that there's going to be a risk of that happening later on. But as of right now, it's continuing to hold up. So we might just see it remain range bound. So watch your ranges. There could be a bit more upside coming. But for now, just be patient and do what you have to do. All right, guys, so that's it for this one. Tesla's a little flat right now, but we're going to see if this thing could attempt to push a little higher. Same thing with SPY in the market. But don't forget, we have big catalysts ahead of us. Watch for some volatility at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we'll be watching Nvidia's earnings and these other factors for Tuesday. Get ready, guys. It's going to be a short week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again, and peace out.